This week's Parsha actually picks up where the drama of last week's Parsha left off. Namely, Pinchas, who in an act of zealous vengeance on behalf of Hashem, in a fit of inspiration, took matters into his own hands and brought an end to a certain problem which had erupted amongst the Jewish people. Namely, Balak had taken the advice of Bilam and caused the Jews to stumble through licentiousness, let's call it, promiscuity, Jewish men being involved with women they were not supposed to be getting involved with. All in the ultimate agenda was to get them involved in idol worship, idolatry, avodah zarah, however you want to say it. This week's Parsha picks up in the aftermath of this. And the Torah tells us that Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen, Heishiv es Chamasi, which translates to Pinchas, the son of Elazar, the son of Aaron HaKohen, has caused my wrath to return, has caused my wrath to be brought to an end. From upon the Jewish people in his taking vengeance on my behalf, says Hashem. And what is the reward of all this? So the Torah goes on to tell us, therefore, says Hashem, Lechen emor, hineni nosei lo es brisi shalom. Therefore, I'm going to give him my covenant of peace. There is a fascinating Rashi at the very beginning of this week's Parsha, which is dealing with why did the Torah need to get into Yichus here? Why did the Torah need to get into Pinchas's family tree, his lineage, and to tell us that he was the son of Elazar, who was the son of Aaron HaKohen, ultimately linking him back to his grandfather, who was the great and honorable Aaron HaKohen. So Rashi explains why. Because the other tribes, basically, entire Klal Yisrael, the Jewish people, were making a disgrace out of Pinchas, saying, "Hara'isen ben Potisen? Did you see this ben Poti, this son of Poti? What's a Poti? Shepitem avi imo agalim lavodes kochavim." He is the descendant. Okay, apparently his maternal grandfather was a Baal of avodah zarah. And he supplied the idol worshippers with their fattened egels, calves. And this is who came along, v'harag nasi shevet mi Yisrael. And this is who came along and killed Zimri, who was a nasi, the leader of an entire shevet. Lefikach, therefore, because the people were saying this, ba hakasuv v'yachso acher Aaron. Therefore, the pasuk, the Torah, had to come along and link him, lineage-wise, to his grandfather Aaron. If we take a step back, just look at what the Torah has told us, and look at this Rashi. If we had a little perspective here, I think we see something quite fascinating. The Torah is telling us that this was the act of the grandson of Aaron HaKohen, where everybody, the world, the people, were saying this was an act of ruthless murder. Pinchas was a cold-blooded murderer. And this is only because, say the people, because his grandfather was a lowly idol worshiper with no morals. If you take a look back, we see that what the people were saying here was not what the Torah says. The Torah said this is the descendant of Aaron HaKohen who acted here. Who was Aaron? Says the Mishnah in Avos, Ohev Shalom v'rodev Shalom. He loved peace and he pursued it actively, proactively. Took the initiative to go after it. He was imbued with Shalom. And that is who Pinchas was. Pinchas' act, which could be viewed, really, you could see, put it under the microscope, right? What was it? We saw a man kill somebody here. Well, everybody was saying this was ruthless murder. Except for Hashem. Hashem didn't say that. Hashem said, Hineni, no say lo es brisi shalom. Because he did that, he is getting my covenant of peace. I think that this contrast between what the people say and what the Torah says is a tremendously important message or lesson for us, for our generation. Because there's many times where things happen amongst the Jewish people where the media, the people, the proletariat paints it one way and the entire world goes with it. But according to what the Torah says, it's the complete opposite. So we have to consider, before we log in, what source are we getting this from, first of all? Who is portraying it that way? I understand that this is how the media portrays it. How does the Torah speak about it? What does the Torah have to say about this? Even more so, I think it's important to highlight that what Rashi says. Rashi says the reason why this pasuk was necessary is lefi shehayu hashvatim mevazinoso. It was the shvatim. It was not necessarily the secular world, the non-Jewish world, that was putting Pinchas in this light. It was the shvatim, it was the Jewish world that was putting Pinchas in this light. Let us learn from this, to one, just because all the Jews are saying it, or all the Jews are doing it, that does not necessarily mean that it's right. With that, I'd like to close and wish everybody a good Shabbos. Just for us to consider again that there's what the people say, and there is as well what the Torah says. Those two are not always in line. And it should be our desire, our aspiration at least, that we should be in line with Hashem and with what the Torah says.